We're in the 2023 Toyota Supra. This has the beloved 6-speed manual. Today we're gonna do, or should I say tonight, we're gonna do a little drive, a little nighttime drive, show you the nighttime lights on this, which are absolutely spectacular. So let's start with the low beams here. And also let's put on the flashers because they are pretty. Now we also have amber turn signals on the mirrors, amber turn signals and flashers on both sides. When those are not blinkers, they turn into nice daytime white running lights. We have triple beam LED headlights here that are super bright. It almost looks like they're out of the Lexus playbook, to be honest, and that is not a bad thing. So we come to the side. It's nice that the amber LEDs and daytime running lights wrap around to the side. That's pretty nifty. And on the rear, we have beautiful rear tail lights, kind of circular, almost like the Supra is looking back at you if you're driving behind it. Brake lights, of course, are super bright as well. So let's get inside the 6-speed manual Supra. It's fired on. I have climate control off. I've been driving with the windows down, but we want to get some good audio. So we'll roll those windows up and go ahead and put the fans on a nice low speed. Head-up display is very bright for nighttime driving. The MID, the cluster behind the steering wheel, is very, very clear, easy to read. We don't have hardly any ambient lighting on the door, just around the mirror controls and window controls and locks. And on the steering wheel, the buttons are illuminated kind of like this blood orange. I actually like the color. It makes me feel like I'm in the 80s. We also have all your presets lit up nice and flashy there, and your climate control is very easy to read at nighttime. If you look up, there are those blood orange lights that shine down onto the shifter in this general area. And if you're seeing the car seat in here, we do have hooks behind the seat, and I drove my daughter home from school in it, and she absolutely loved it. So let's go ahead and start driving the 6-speed manual Supra. If you haven't seen my daytime review, make sure to check that out. I had high expectations for this 6-speed manual Supra, and this vehicle has exceeded those expectations, which is saying something. So let's just gently roll into the gas here. So smooth. And it's smooth at all operations. So if I'm just babying it, it's really easy to drive slow and in traffic. The clutch is very workable. It's super forgiving, and the shifter is extraordinarily accommodating. It's very accurate. It's fun to throw around. It snicks right into place. And then you also have rev matching downshifts. And then about 400 horsepower to play with this straight 6, this B58 from BMW. It's one of the best engines I think I've ever driven. And it's also like, this is probably one of the best manual transmission cars I've ever driven. The brakes are, of course, excellent in here. This 3.0 Premium has the red painted calipers on the front and the back, so that's one of the few upgrades I feel like you get on the Premium. You got the JBL sound system in here, which we don't need for a nice peaceful nighttime drive. But it does sound pretty good when you're willing to crank it. Roll into the gas. Just so much power. I rarely go full throttle in this vehicle just because it's like, oh my gosh, we almost saw an accident there. And then that Kia looked like it was burning oil. Do you see all that black soot that came out of it? The Sonata has really cool nighttime lights that you can't really appreciate in the day. Another crazy thing about this Supra is that I feel like I've been having a heck of a time in here, and I'm still getting about 24 miles per gallon, and that's even sitting in car line for about an hour, letting the engine, turn on and turn off on its own, keeping that stop-start engine functionality on. Something I didn't mention in my daytime review is I love the presets built into this steering wheel. And it's just this little rotary dial here, and it comes up on the heads-up display, and you can see not only the presets, it depends on what the radio is set at, but every single satellite radio station pulls up. And I just think it's really, really handy, really nifty. It keeps your eyes on the road as well. So I like that integration into the head-up display. Engine just died. I don't mind it here on the 3.0 Supra with the manual. I really didn't like it with the 2.0 Supra because you're like coming to a stop, you're not fully stopped and the engine turns off. When you're just coasting to neutral in a 6-speed manual like this, it doesn't interfere like it did in the 2.0. I'll just say that. So I don't mind it here. You don't see it. Well, I mean, you see plenty of crappy Dodge Caravans on the road, but that, I don't even know how they're able to see out of that window. Well, what was a window? Visibility in here is terrible. It's even worse at nighttime. I mean, it's not as bad as this Caravan, but well, thank God I have blind spot monitor in here, because that is literally I feel like a lifesaver in the day, and let alone at like nighttime. It's an absolute must. It's much harder to see at nighttime out of this vehicle than in the day. We know this Lexus to the side has the upgraded triple beam headlights because in 2020 they gave it a refresh, and the only way you can get those upgraded tail lights is if you got the triple beam headlights. It's also a hybrid luxury build there, so pretty fancy. Now this is the loudest Supra I've been in terms of road noise. You hear rocks kicking up into the wheel wells. The road noise on the highway is really high. I think Toyota removed some of the sound deadening materials in here for the manual to keep the weight down as much as possible. It's only around 3,300 pounds. I think we're somewhere around 150 pounds lighter than the Nissan Z manual transmission, and it does feel super light. But yes, sound deadening is something that I feel like I could appreciate all the time. Lightness, not so much unless I'm taking it to the track. If you guys made it this far in the video, make sure to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe for more nighttime drives. It gives me a new perspective on the vehicles I drive. I get to see them in a different light, no pun intended. And it's cool. I really enjoy doing it. So if you like it, let me know down below in the comments if you want to see more of this nighttime driving, and subscribe for more news and reviews coming out of the channel. And check out my second channel, Kirky Cars, where I focus on electrified vehicles. This vehicle couldn't be any further from that, and it is awesome. So anyways, I'm going to cut myself off. Have a great day. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.